Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, I've been gone the last couple of days. I had some stuff to do, and also I wasn't feeling well, had very low energy, and I'm still low energy today. So, that's why I'm a little bit toned down. But I've got some energy and I'm going to work with it. So, I'm going to use it to catch everybody up on some of the things been going on YouTube and with Foodie Beauty. So, what's been going on? Well, as everybody knows, YouTube, they are starting to become more strict about what they will monetize and what they will consider to be advertiser friendly. So, I'm sure you're all aware that part of their new policy is that they are saying we are not going to monetize or encourage those who have disorders or addictions. We're not going to monetize that kind of content. And because of that, Foodie Beauty, she's got a lot to worry about because for the last several years, she's been on YouTube and she has literally monetized her BED and glorified it. And finally, YouTube is saying, we're not going to allow that anymore. We don't care who you are. It's just something we're not going to do. So she had a moment where she was freaking out and claiming that it was discrimination and they can't do this to me. Although Daddy YouTube can make whatever rule they want, they are a private company, and whatever rule they come up with, you follow it, or if you don't follow it, there will be consequences. So, on top of that, another thing has happened. So, some of the clip channels have also been affected. I have been on Twitter and I found out that different clip channels such as Just Breezin and Perfectly Imperfect have been demonetized. There might be more, I'm not sure. And it makes me wonder if those channels being hit this soon, I can't imagine that YouTube that they're going to just comb every channel and look at every channel all at once. I'm wondering if it's complaint based. If somebody complains and then they look into the complaint and they examine the channel, and then that's when they determine whether the channel is going to be demonetized or not. But yeah, Just Breezin has been demonetized, as has Perfectly Imperfect. And of course, you got to know that Chantal could not wait to gloat about it. She was gloating in a community post, but Chantal, you're getting way too happy way too soon. If anything, Chantal, you should be more worried because if clip channels are being demonetized just because they weren't transformative enough by YouTube standards because YouTube said so, what do you think is going to happen to you? You're broken terms of service many times over. And if you continue to do food content, even after these new policies are enacted, do you think you're safe? Do you think you're going to find some magic loophole where they will allow you to do food content even after you getting on your channel numerous times over, talking about what's wrong with you? There's so much footage out there of you talking about your BED, about your struggles with it. There's so many videos out there of you having B moments on camera. Do you think you can hide or delete all of that footage? No, I don't think you can. There's far too much of it on your channel. So you're gloating and you're cheering and you're throwing a little party way too soon. You're not considering the aftermath, that if other people are being affected, you got to know that you're next in line somewhere. And a lot of people are wondering if the channels that have been affected with demonetization, if you didn't have a hand in that, because you do have a history of reporting people and going after people. I'm going to give my personal opinions right here and now. If Chantal is, in fact, complaining about different channels, I think at this point, it's not about money. I don't think she's doing it because she's worried about them taking money out of her pocket. There might be the motivation of, because of there being so much content that she's done talking about her BED, showing the things that she's done wrong. Maybe she's just trying to shut down the channels that have some of that footage. Although it's going to be out there no matter what she does. But Chantal does have a history of going after people she doesn't like. So it's just strange to me. Is it any coincidence that, let's see, Perfectly Imperfect has been affected? So has Just Breezin'. And those are two channels she doesn't like. Huh. Yeah. Strange out of all the reaction channels and clip channels. Isn't it something that there are two channels she does not like? They've been affected immediately. Could it be a coincidence? Could it not? Don't know. But yeah, that happened. So some clip channels have gotten hit already, even though the policies really don't start until the beginning of next month. But let me go. I want to show you guys some interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. So let's go on over to Twitter. I got a lot of catching up to do, but I'm trying to put things together that fit together, that are cohesive. So we just keep everything straight. Let's go over to Twitter. All right. So let's start with the gloating post from Foodie, the gloating community post. This is her gloating. This is her being happy about some of the channels that she doesn't like being affected. She says, looks like YouTube is cleaning out the content creators. I am willing to bet that some other hate channels are on borrowed time. You nasty people of girl world really think that all that negative energy and stealing of content is not going to come back and bite you in the butt? I told you, maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but it will. And yes, I'm being smug. I think I deserve it. Do you really deserve it though, Chantal? Do you really deserve a moment of being smug? Especially when you know that your channel is going to be looked at. Because you got to know that people are reporting your videos. You're very controversial. And you like to irritate people. So that just ups the chances of people getting angry and reporting your stuff. Would it be wise to irk people even further right now? I don't think so. You're gloating way too soon. Way too soon. You're over in your corner and you're nervous. You're really, really nervous about the content changes as far as monetized or not monetized. The clip channels that are out there, that were doing the content, Perfectly Imperfect, she's got a job, she's doing well. You know, YouTube is not her main source of income, but YouTube is your main source of income. So if you are gloating and saying, oh, this shuts them all the way down, ma'am, you depend 1,000% on your YouTube income. If something happens to your monetization, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Everything that you've got going on depends on your YouTube income. You have no other money coming in. You have no backup plan. You have no plan B. Is it wise to gloat over other people and their channels being affected when you might be next? You're getting happy way too soon, Chantal. Way too soon. I expect that she'll do live streams and videos gloating even further. You know, trying to rub salt in some wounds, but yet, what's going to happen when YouTube looks at her and her content? Because there's content to be looked at. Would y'all like to see? Here, let me stop the Twitter for just a moment and let me show you. Because we're keeping it cohesive today, like I said. Okay, so here's Foodie's channel. And I just did a search under that word. Look here. This is her self-confessing to having BED. This is still on her channel. Oh, look, there's another one. There's two. Okay. And some other interesting, and another one. We got another one. There's all kinds of videos on your channel still, Foodie, where you're talking about what's wrong with you. So if you want to go to YouTube and say you are discriminating against me, you're going to lose. Because the reason why they should stop you from exploiting what's wrong with you is on your channel. You are providing the reason why they should stop you. Other mukbangers do not have issues with food, but clearly you do. And the issue was important enough that you're making videos about it. You're talking about it. I've always found it strange that you like to play all sides of the field. Sometimes you want to use what's wrong with you to get sympathy, to make people feel like you're sharing something personal with them, spotlighting what's wrong, talking about it, acting as if you care about what's wrong, you know what's wrong, and you're interested in treating the problem. And then you hop over to the other side of the fence later and you want to exploit the same thing in a different angle. You want to exploit your size. You exploit the fact that you're super morbidly obese. You want to put it center stage and attract a certain kind of audience. So you get angry at people for talking about the size of your body. At the same time, you will exploit the same and try to make money off of it. Likewise, want to get sympathy for your disorder, but using it to attract the feedy people. Bring them to you. That's something that YouTube should not allow. But look, here we go. Look. Okay. Look at all these videos. Okay. All of these. So this person, Foodie Beauty, who is confessing, and she has confessed many times in many live streams and many videos that she has BED. Look at all these mukbangs. And I would like to go on record as saying that if you have BED, there's no possible way that you can be on YouTube and do mukbangs, because that's going to lead to just really bad eating, where you're going to go overboard. You are setting yourself up for going overboard over and over and over again. And she would do it in a clear view of the public, glorifying it, monetizing it. And I'm so glad that YouTube is saying, no more of this. We are not going to promote this. We're not going to pay you for it. Nobody should be doing this kind of behavior ever. Right? And again, confessing to having a problem with food. Here we go. There's more. You know, she'll go through periods where she acts like she's going to get healthy, and she talks about getting healthy, and she'll put the tags on her videos to attract people that maybe they're trying to correct issues with food. She's trying to bring those people into her channel, and then later she'll flip-flop and go the other way. So she's trying to, in my opinion, get in different kinds of algorithms on YouTube, exploiting every angle that she can in order to be in as many searches as possible. Always looking for ways to make money. And every single one of them, a way she continues to hurt herself. What? Look, all these. Okay. All right. So you guys have seen enough of that. Let's go back over to Twitter. Okay, I want to go show you guys something else. Hold on. I'm looking for it. I promise. Okay. Now, Foodie did some posts going after FFG again. No big surprise. She's always going after FFG. And by doing so, she broke one of the terms of service. But I would like to show the post in question, if that's all right. We're going to read it together. Okay, so this is the post that she made about FFG, saying, if you look like this, would you have the nerve to call another person a pig? Honest question. Only one mad pig is you, since you rage about me every night instead of spending the time with your imaginary lumberjack boyfriend. Can't wait for your channel to be yeeted next, just like Just Boozing over there. You aren't transformative. You are a hate channel. It's only a matter of time. Maybe ask if the Motel 6 needs a plumber since you look like one anyway. So she was just being nasty, nasty to FFG. Very nasty. Posting a picture of FFG up. Where's your unfiltered picture, Foodie? At least Frenchie can come on camera without filters. Where's your unfiltered picture? And I don't think she looks like a lumberjack. I think she looks fine. So there's the post. Okay, let me just stop this for a minute because I'm looking for another post. So she called FFG a pig, right? She just said that. How about this? From Dirty Uncle Sal. Look at that. This is the terms of service for anybody who wants to know. Dehumanization of individuals or groups by calling them subhuman, comparing them to animals, insects, pests, disease, or any other non-human entity based on their protected group status. So she made a community post calling FFG a pig. That means you broke terms of service, Foodie. You broke terms of service right there in text. You're over there gloating about other people's channels being affected, but you're not exactly following the rules, are you? No. No, you're breaking the rules and you're trying to find ways to get around the rules rather than following the rules. So, all that gloating for what? All that gloating for what? Okay. What else do we have here on Twitter? All right. Where are the posts for FFG? Looking. Sorry, I've been saving stuff the last couple of days and I just have to find. Let's see. Did I save any? No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, she went off on FFG's and another couple of posts that she deleted where she brought up FFG's deceased mom. Let me bring that up for you. This is like the second post, the smaller one, because the other one was like a mini novel talking about FFG. And again, unfortunately, her mother passed away. Foodie Beauty says, and before you zombies say it's a low blow to bring up her mom, but sit there and watch her regularly call my mom a hole. Yeah, you can all shut it too. I have no sympathy for someone like this. Sorry, not sorry. Foodie, she is so desperate for views and attention that she is just doing the most. And she's throwing anything at the wall, looking to see if something will stick. She's doing whatever she can to cause controversy. She really, really wants Frenchie mad at her, and she wants an extreme reaction to Frenchie. Maybe she's hoping that Frenchie will lose her marbles and go completely off on her and then she can report her. I don't know if that's the plan, but she's got to realize that Frenchie is 10 steps ahead of her and she realizes what she's doing and she's not going to fall for it. Frenchie's not giving her the reaction that she wants her to. I'm sure that's making her more angry because Chantal, she likes to think that she's the smartest person in the room when she's actually the dumbest. And it all has to do with the fact that she's a scammer and a grifter. And when you scam people, when you grift people, when you're playing those games with people, you've got to keep changing the game so that people don't catch on. But her problem is she keeps using the same tactics over and over and over and over again because she's too lazy to change them. And because of that, people have completely caught on to her and no one's falling for anything. And that includes the reactors. So she's trying to get some kind of negative reaction so that she can maybe do some reporting, I guess, and it's just not working. And she's just big mad, big mad. She's not getting what she wants, so she's mad about that. All right. Now I wanted to show you guys one more thing. Okay. And this is courtesy of a channel called What's Happening. There might be some people on Chantal's channel that maybe you're new to Chantal. Maybe you're just starting to get to know her. Maybe you haven't been around for years like some of us have been around her, that we've seen the different sides of her. We've seen the negative behavior. You know, she's written a new narrative for you and you're believing it. And maybe you're on her side because you think YouTube making policies and she can't eat on camera is completely unfair. I disagree. And I'd like to show you why it's completely fair. It's not discriminatory, and she needs to not do food eating content. And the best part about this is it's going to be me reacting to Chantal herself. Words coming out of her own mouth. I'm going to leave a link for What's Happening's video in the description. Please feel free to go over to What's Happening's channel. Give them a like, give them a click, give them a comment. The video is 2 months old. So thank you for posting this What's Happening. This video is important in my opinion because it's just, this is Chantal talking about what's wrong with her. And here we are 2 months later and it matters because of the new policies. And she can do whatever screaming she wants about how unfair it is. But you guys are going to see very clearly why she just needs to stop it with the food eating content, that she can't do this anymore. So let's watch together.
I've decided again to not do mukbangs on my channel. I've decided not only to not do mukbangs, but to, in general, not make food a theme on this channel. Especially not one that involves indulging in food, indulging in trigger foods, and
fast food is her trigger foods. For those who want to know, for those who don't know yet, fast food is her trigger food. She has said so, like all fast food, especially things like pizza. And you can go on her channel right now and she's done plenty of videos featuring herself eating pizza, but fast food is her jam. Like she will go completely overboard with fast food. That's this video that we're looking at. This clip was taken during the BB era. And again, for those who weren't around at that time, this was taken 4 or 5 years ago. Back when she was with her her now ex-boyfriend, BB. After she and BB broke up, she moved in with Pete into the villa. And then after Pete's was Natter, and then after Natter was Salah. But this was done all the way back. And this was done at a time when Chantal was looking and talking halfway normal. After she broke up with Bibi, she lost complete control. In my opinion, it's because when she was with Bibi, she had to act right. She couldn't be completely feral. When she got together with Pete, Pete is the kind of guy of do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not going to oppose anything. So she just lost it. You know, she would go days without bathing. She was being completely filthy because Pete's, even though he's a man in the house, he's not going to protest. So she just became completely wild and feral. She was still with Bibi at this time, making this video.
I've done this many times before on my channel, so those of you who are not new to the circus know what probably guessed that this would happen or predicted that this would happen just based on the patterns I have demonstrated on my channel, so I don't blame you there. But there's a few things, other realizations that I've come to that are the nails in the mukbang coffin for my channel. And I started my channel back in 2017.
Unfortunately, there was no mukbang coffin. That issue was not ever laid to rest, as it should have been. As a matter of fact, it shouldn't have gotten started to begin with. If you're someone you got an issue with food, the last thing you should be doing on YouTube is doing content featuring yourself eating, because you know what that's going to lead to. Once you turn your problem into content, how can you heal the problem? How can the problem be fixed if you're turning it into an entire show, into a three-ring circus, and you're making money off of it? That's the main attraction. Answer, you can't. Problems like that should be handled off camera with treatment and inpatient and therapy, but she's never, ever, ever been interested in that, ever. She's never been serious about it. And here we are years later after this video, we can see how bad the problem still is. She took advantage of the fact that at that time, YouTube did not have its policies. And she thought, this is great. I love to eat. There's an audience out there. They want to see me eat. There's even a subset to the audience. They really love to see me eat. And they'll throw the super chat to me as long as I eat large amounts of food. They'll kind of promote it. They'll come to me for it. She took full advantage of that. And she can't do that anymore because she assumed that this whole easy, free ride was going to last forever. She never counted on anything changing, and now it has.
And I did a few makeup videos and then hopped on the mukbang trend and grew my channel that way. I always struggled with food. I always had issues with food, but I never realized how much of a food addict I was.
Okay, a word about that. So in a live stream or a video, Chantal was saying that it's discriminatory what YouTube is doing. She also tried to do some nonsense guilt trip of YouTube, if you shut me down and if you stop me from eating on camera, if my situation becomes worse, it's your fault. That's manipulating. And if her problem did become worse, it's not their fault. If you're someone and you've got something wrong with you, it is up to you to fix it. That's number one. And number two, Chantal, you had this problem way before YouTube. This problem of food of yours, it was going all the way back to when you were a teen. Your family sent you to treatment centers, and unfortunately, the situation did not get properly dealt with. So this was going on way before YouTube. And if that is the case, and it is, how is it YouTube's fault? It isn't. It's your fault for not treating the problem, not seeking out treatment, and then finding YouTube and finding a way to glorify and monetize your problem. All of that is on you.
How much I had disordered eating. I never realized that at the time. It took a few years after starting mukbangs to really unravel what's going on, start to unravel what's going on. And I'm still very much right in the throes of everything, of the disease. And yes, because of that, I don't think it is healthy for me to be obsessed with food on my channel. Because for me to beat this, for me, the only way as a severe food addict is to keep things clean and simple when it comes to eating and abstinent. And the very act of mukbanging, I've tried to make it healthy. I've tried to turn a blind eye, which is not good, but I've tried to make healthy mukbangs. And I still find myself, it is a slippery slope, and I know a lot of you have said that, but I'm stubborn and I don't listen to people. And
Okay, so she's over here saying that she's trying to do healthy mukbangs. But she knows what kinds of people tend to watch the mukbangs. I'm not saying every person who watches a mukbang is a foodie, but in her case, what's going on with her, a lot of foodies did watch her, and they especially loved the fast food, which, once again, are her trigger foods. So catering to a certain kind of audience on her channel and doing so by using her trigger foods, which is going to lead to more out of control eating. If you're someone and you have BED, you got a problem with food like this, and you do mukbangs, you're pretty much playing with a stick of dynamite. Not literally, just figuratively. You know, like you're playing with danger. You know you are. You know that. How can you stay away from temptation if you're indulging in temptation in front of everybody and you're justifying it by saying, this is my job. This is my content. This is how I make money. You're justifying what you're doing. And by justifying it, you're making it okay. It's not okay. And I would say that to anybody who was doing the same thing, to anyone of any size. It is not about me picking on Chantal because of however much she weighs. It wouldn't matter if she weighed 90 pounds or 100 pounds or 120 pounds. This isn't because of her being of a certain size. Size doesn't matter. What she's doing to herself on a public platform does matter. She's confessing to everybody right here. I got a problem with food. I've had this problem ongoing for years. And here we are. Years later, it's not gotten any better. It's gotten far worse. And I'm just going to say it. She is someone that she has a severe problem with food, and she doesn't want to stop. She wants to continue. She's not looking for reasons and ways to stop. She's not seeking out different coping mechanisms and coping skills or going to therapy. She could have done that long ago and gotten this thing under control. There are resources to help. There are people to help. She doesn't want help. The only thing she wants help with is help in making her making more money off what's wrong with her. That's the kind of help she's looking for the enablers, looking for the funders to pay her to continue her habit in full view of the public. But she herself personally, she doesn't want to quit. It's too much of a moneymaker. And she's stressed out because she likes to buck up against the system. But she knows that if she goes against Daddy YouTube, she's going to lose. This is a battle she cannot win. She can look for all the loopholes she wants. YouTube says, this is how it is, then that's how it is.
that is a very negative trait to have. Basically, just the short of it is, as a food addict, it's a slippery slope for me to say I'm going to do healthy mukbangs, and then I find myself wanting to be more entertaining in the mukbang way. You see Nikocado, you see Steven Sushi, you see other bigger mukbangers who have more success in that community, and they actually
by the way, the whole usage of it's a slippery slope. No, it isn't. It's not a slippery slope. There's no chance of you getting halfway up that hill. If you're indulging in something that you know you shouldn't be indulging in, you're not going to take one step up that hill. You're not going to get halfway there. You're going to be stuck at the bottom always, in the same place, doing the same thing. And that's certainly true now because it's exactly where you are. Nothing positive has changed. Your health is no better. It's gotten worse. Slippery slope where? It's not about a slope or a hill. It's about your health. It's about you abusing your health. It's about you exploiting what's wrong with you. You're not even doing it on a private forum where only certain people who want to see can see. You're doing it on a public platform. And no one needs to see you hurting yourself, Chantal, whether it's for money or not. Nobody should walk away with the impression of this is okay. Or if I want a big channel, this is how you get one. That's why YouTube is shutting you down. They don't want to give the impression of make a channel, do some outrageous stuff, hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, we'll pay you. They don't want to put out that vibe. They're a company. They've got their back end to think about. And apparently, like, what you're doing to yourself is not good for their image.
Do a really big display of food. And I find myself leaning towards that when I do mukbangs, like with the 5 tacos and the 2 burgers or whatever. And I find ways to justify it with trying intermittent fasting and all this and that. And it's just not healthy eating that kind of food, period. That food is when I eat it, no matter how long I intermittent fast, no matter how healthy I eat after, I'm finding that I still feel like crap. I still feel the effects of, if I eat a really fatty meal, really unhealthy meal, my heart beats faster. I need to lay down. It's just horrible feeling. And I just want to keep it simple when it comes to food. And I want to invest
So there's proof right there. She just said that when she does the mukbangs, she doesn't feel good. Her heart starts racing. She feels dizzy. There you go. There you go. So it's not good for her, number one. And then after she's done eating, she doesn't feel good. Her body's having all these negative reactions. The spike in blood sugar, the blood pressure, the heart racing. Let's not forget that she has an enlarged heart. Let's not forget the fact that she has had blood clots in her lungs, and she should be taking blood thinners for that. Let's not forget that she's got diabetes, and she has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that her liver is 3 times the size of normal. And that was the last thing she spoke about. So it could actually be worse. And there could be other health problems that are undetected. So here is this very sick person, very unhealthy person, eating copious amounts of fast food and making these conditions worse. And every time she does a mukbang, she's having these symptoms of her heart starts pounding. Her blood pressure goes up. That's a sign you should not be eating that way, Chantal. I don't know why you'd want to continue if you feel like that. I don't know why you want to push yourself to that point, but you have. And the crazy thing is, you're having all these issues when you do mukbangs, and yet you're fighting against YouTube and saying, don't you tell me I can't do it. Why would anybody fight to do content that puts them in constant pain and discomfort? Is the money really that important? How much comfort is that money going to give you if you end up in the hospital? Is it going to make any sense if you put yourself in a place where you can't be on YouTube at all because you're in the hospital for weeks? You got to do more than just coming on YouTube and complaining about what's wrong with you. You got to fix it or not. It's really up to you. We can't help you.
Money I save on mukbangs, on food, which I spend a ton of money on food.
Yeah, you
Like, I don't have money for anything else because I spend it on food. And that, I could use that money to do more fulfilling things on my channel, which brings me to another nail in the mukbang coffin. I don't feel fulfillment. Overall, when I really analyze how I'm feeling.
Okay, I'm going to say something, and these are just my thoughts. Like, I'm sure those of you on my channel, maybe you've watched TV or movies, or you've seen reality TV shows of people who are addicts. Like you see cops or whatnot go into houses where people are doing illegal substances, and the place is disgusting and filthy, and the person, they're just maybe sitting in a room, and they all they want to do is do whatever it is they're addicted to. Is there really any difference between seeing something like that and what Foodie is doing to herself, except that she's doing it in front of everybody, whereas other people who might have a problem with something else are doing it in private and they don't have a camera on? That maybe what other people do might be illegal and what she does is legal. What she does, it's legal, but it's still dangerous because it's being abused. It's hurting her. We all remember what she was like back at the villa, back in Canada, sitting in a room surrounded by filth of every kind, garbage 3 feet thick on her carpet, mummified food, fruit flies, moldy pots everywhere, rotting food in her fridge so bad that it would stink up the entire apartment, litter boxes that had been changed in months. When you think about that environment that she was in, and you think about, what you might have seen on TV or movies of other people that are sitting somewhere and they're doing an illegal drug, is there really any difference beyond the fact that what she's doing on camera is legal and what other people might be doing is illegal? There really isn't much difference. In both cases, you have people that are doing something that are hurting themselves. They're consumed by what they're doing. They're wrapped up in it. That's all they want to do. And she's not ready to let go of her legal drug yet. To the point where she's fighting YouTube and saying, I'm going to continue. I'm going to do the source of my addiction on camera. I'm going to find a way, rather than say, it's time. It's time to let this go. Like, I had a free ride. It lasted 4 or 5 years. I did lazy content. Now I got to step it up and do something else. It's time. The signs are all there. She don't want to hear it. She wants to continue. She's going to try to find some way to include food into her content. Ma'am, no one doesn't want to see it anymore. Nobody. The content isn't interesting, first of all. And we know you got an issue with food, second. It's not cute. And it's not something you should be doing. You should stop.
After a mukbang, I feel like I do after I have a binge. I feel not right deep down, because I know deep down what I'm doing is not right.
No.
And I just choose to ignore that, just so that it's easier to do that than to do other content and be held accountable. It's easier. It's more effortless. You turn on the camera, you stuff your face. It's, there's not really.
There it is. She just said it. That's why she does the content. It's effortless. It's lazy. It's easy. She's all about finding workarounds when it comes to work. She thought she just struck gold when she got on YouTube, and I thought, man, this is great. I could just buy a fast food meal, film myself eating it, and I'm making money. Wow. Like, how simple is that? That's why she's never gotten away from it. I'm going to get my fix on camera and get paid for it. This is fantastic. Well, not anymore. And Chantal is the kind of person that even if she's doing something to herself that she knows is wrong and it's hurting her, she's not going to stop unless she's forced to stop. I mean, here we are, 4 or 5 years after this video, her confessing, this is what's wrong with me. She could have stopped herself well before now, gotten into treatment, inpatient, therapy, all that. But because the rules said that she could do what she could do, she did it. And the only reason why she's having to stop now is because somebody is saying we aren't paying for it anymore. And she's freaking out. She's freaking out that somebody is putting the kibosh on all of that. She's stopping only because she's forced to stop. Somebody's forcing her hand. She doesn't want to stop. And I predict she's going to try to find some kind of workaround. But I guarantee you, Chantal, that will not work out the way you think. And you better be careful. Your YouTube channel is your only source of income. You don't have any other money pools that you can draw from. I'd be real careful playing with that terms of service, ma'am. Because if YouTube is going after the clip channels, again, do you think you're safe? Do you really think so? I don't think you are. I mean, they took your channel away once. You don't think they'll do it again?
Really, the way I would do it anyway. And I have had success with doing mukbang on my channel in the beginning, but another nail in that coffin is having opened up and sharing my addiction and eating disorder with you guys. And I just, I think that's just completely changed everything.
Yeah, that's going to come back and bite you in your big butt because you wanted to exploit that. You've always wanted to exploit that side of yourself, either by talking about it or exploiting it through doing your mukbangs. You decided to put that on the table. That's going to come back and bite you in your big butt because the videos are out there like this video. You're saying outright, publicly, freely, by your own free will, I have this issue with food. Video proof that you are not like other mukbangers, that you can't control yourself when it comes to food. You don't think YouTube is going to see this? You don't think they're going to, it's out there. Do you think if YouTube starts putting the red dollar sign on your videos that, and you try to appeal, you're not going to see this? People aren't going to show it to them? There's too much out there, Chantal. It's a done deal.
And I'm starting a new chapter of my life. I need to do a glow up. I need to work on myself. This is, I mean, how many hints do I need to get? Health problems, breakup. Like this is the
Okay, so we're getting a timeline here. So this video, Foodie and BB broke up, but she was still living with him. So this was right before she moved into the villa with Pete's. So they were a done deal, but she was still there for the temporary. And then she bounced on over to the villa with Pete's and became completely feral and disgusting. This was the absolute last time in her life when she was still somewhat normal, took care of herself, put on her makeup, took a shower every day, fixed her nails, and she sounded somewhat normal. After she left BB, she just lost control. She became a living, breathing caricature of herself. This was the absolute last time I feel that she was ever truly Chantal. Once she moved in with Pete's, she abandoned Chantal Marie and she dove headfirst into the persona Foodie Beauty. She wanted to live in that persona all the time, every minute. She did not want to just turn the camera off after making a video or a live stream and just be whatever herself is. She wanted to live in her persona. She gave everything to that persona. She put so much self-worth and value into that persona, and she neglected the person, hence the reason why her life fell apart and fell into ruin so quickly. She just didn't know how to get off the stage and get out of the spotlight and just live.
A new chapter in my life, and I have to make it about me, and I have to make it about healing myself and getting better. And I came home today. I wanted to binge so bad, and I had a binge urge, and I ran home and I read the chapter that I haven't read yet about this one man.
You know, I'm not criticizing that book. I'm sure it's a great book. Y'all saw the picture on the title? The donuts and whatnot. I mean, look, I'm sure it's a great book, but the picture of the donuts on the front, wouldn't that trigger you to want to eat donuts? I'm just saying.
Because people who who are not food addicts or any addicts of any kind don't really understand, because a lot of people, it's just lunacy to a lot of people, and I understand that.
Yeah, having a problem with food, it's hard for other people to understand. It's easy to say. People understand if you say, I have a problem with an illegal drug or a party favor. That's easy to understand. But for someone to say, I've got a problem with food, they're like, what? Food? Food is something we consume. How can that be dangerous for you? It's hard to imagine. But anything in life can become an addiction or an obsession and can be lethal and dangerous if you overindulge or use it the wrong way. Certainly that is the case with food also. I mean, look at how it's affected her health. Look at all the health problems, the labored breathing, the limited mobility. She's having so many problems because she's just keeps indulging in the wrong things. You know, like they say, everything in life is, everything in moderation is okay. But she's not moderate. She doesn't know how to be moderate. Everything she does, everything she gets wrapped around, she does in excess. It becomes an obsession. She always does too much. She always goes too far. She's got a very extreme type of personality. If she likes it or she wants it, guarantee you it's going to become an addiction or an obsession. She's going to get hyper fixated on it and do way too much. That's why she needs therapy. But as long as she's getting monetized, as long as she's getting paid, and the thing she's getting paid for is one of her obsessions, she's never going to get healthier. They say that you can't heal in the same environment that you hurt in. That's certainly true with her, because look at her environment. She has easy access to fast food, surrounded by fast food restaurants, surrounded by convenience stores, surrounded by lots of things where her temptation is. She's got somebody by her side that he'll go get her temptation if she needs him to go get it. She gets on her YouTube channel, and there are people there that are her hug box that will back her up in her addiction and obsession. They'll talk about food. They'll encourage her to eat. They'll buy the memberships. They'll send the super chats. She got a whole toxic system of reinforcement that really shouldn't be there. And I'm not putting complete blame on the VIBs and subscribers, because Chantal is a person. She can control what goes into her mouth and what comes out of it. But nobody should be encouraging her to do the source of her problem. Nobody should be talking about it, putting it in her face, making her hyperfixate on it. You know, if you're someone and you know somebody or you're related to somebody that if they have a problem with something, would you walk up and mention that to them or start talking about it and putting it in the front of their mind, no, then don't do it to Chantal. She doesn't need any help. She really, really doesn't. Be mindful of that if you care about Chantal. If you really care. If you're someone, you're going to her channel and you're trolling and you want to see her lose control, okay, fine. But you can't sit there and say you care about somebody at the same time like you are making them fixate on their addiction. I'm just saying, you've got to pick a lane.
When people say, what is it going to take for you to change? How many health problems do you need? I mean, is having blood clots in your lungs not enough? Is not being able to walk 2 blocks enough for you? And no, some people, I honestly think some people just never have a rock bottom and they turn out like this man in the book and they die. They eat themselves to death, or they.
Y'all want to know my thoughts? I don't think Foodie does have a rock bottom. I really don't. I don't think she has a bottom. I think she's bottomless. And her being on YouTube just makes that more so. I think she uses her channel and her VIBs and her subscribers as a safety net. A lot of people who go through regular addiction, sometimes their rock bottom could be running out of money, running out of resources, running out of people to borrow money from. People around them who, out of kindness, they try to help at first. But then they say, I've reached a place where I can't help you. And then once they reach that point, they say, I've got to change. I can't keep going like this. Unfortunately, with her, she's got this toxic support system where people are funding what's wrong with her. And as long as she's got that continuous source of money, she's going to keep going. She's not going to change. That's why this needs to stop. YouTube was the worst thing to happen to Chantal. Because just imagine it. Had she not got monetized or made the money that she's been making, she would have been able to get up to 500 pounds, to eat $3,000 to $4,000 worth of food every month, to buy all that green, to be outrageous? No. She would just be some ordinary person on an ordinary paycheck and have to deal with that. She'd be probably a lot happier and a lot healthier had she been able to not live in excess. She took the cup of fortune and she abused it. She squandered it. And really that's on her.
They drink themselves to death. For some people, it's just not enough. And all you care about, you don't care about that. You don't care about your health. And it's a really hard thing to explain. And the fact that I'm on here talking about it, and the fact that I rushed home and read that chapter, because I don't want that to happen to me, confirms that I don't want that to happen to me. So there is part of me that really wants to fight this over and over again.
How can you fight it, though, if you're giving into it each and every day? You're not fighting it if you put out a mukbang video every day, Chantal. Sometimes you put out 2 or 3 videos a day. How is that fighting it? What else are you doing to fight it? There's no talk of therapy. There's no talk of talking to a therapist, online or otherwise. There's no talk of inpatient. There's no talk of, I'm trying to work through my issues and I talked to somebody and we kind of got close to the heart of the matter. We're not all the way there, but we're almost there. There's no talk of any progress. You're not taking 4 steps forward. You're taking 40 steps back. So if you're not moving forward, how are you going to get better? And how is YouTube going to be good for you? What's happening on YouTube is happening, and you can't stop it. You really can't stop it. So stop trying. Stop fighting and bucking up against a system that you can't control. You can't control it. Just adapt.
Until I get it right. Look at Amber Lynn. She's breaking her cycle. It's taken many tries, but I find her very inspiring. And if I'm honest, I'm kind of jealous that I'm very, very, very happy for her. Don't get me wrong, but I'm jealous in the way that I wish that was me. I wish I was down 70 pounds. You know, I'm not going to lie. But I know that I can be. Yeah. I find honestly her very inspirational right now. So just that positivity. I really enjoy that. I don't like the way I feel when I'm doing mukbangs. I find that I don't feel any fulfillment from it. I don't feel fulfillment. I think the best.
You know what? She didn't even have to tell me that. That was something I've known for a long time. Long time. The cracks were starting to show way back in the day when she was with BB. I mean, it takes one to know one. You can't lie to one of your own, Chantal. The cracks were starting to show when you were with BB and you were doing live streams at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and you were going around to different fast food joints, going through the drive-through, looking to get your fix. You know, like rubbing those hands together, all giddy. I'm going to go out and get some fast food at 3 in the morning. You'd fire up that live stream because you wanted everybody to watch you get it. You wanted them a part of the experience. We're going to go on this caper. I'm going to take you with me and you're going to watch me do this because that's part of the thrill, isn't it? Doing something you know you shouldn't be doing. You've always liked the fact that it was taboo. You've always wanted people to talk about it. You would go through those fast food lines, order your food, and then take your first bite, looking for that dopamine, for the brain explosion. Boom! And more than one occasion, I saw you get mad, real mad. You would take that first bite, you would wait for that 2 or 3 seconds where your whole brain would explode, and then it would get that rush of dopamine, and it wouldn't happen. And then immediately you were cranky because you'd be having those thoughts of, I came all the way here and I got this food. Why don't I feel good? Where's the joy? Where's the euphoria? It's missing. Something's wrong here. You get mad. Take it out on people in your chat. See, when you do something too much, at some point you stop getting high off of it. You don't feel that anymore. Then after that, it's just about, I'm doing it so I won't go into withdrawals. I'm doing it just to do it. That's been the case with you for years. You stopped feeling that joy and that euphoria years ago, and yet you continued. And over the years, I watched you chasing the dragon. You do one thing, and if you stopped getting high, you'll switch to something else, looking for that feeling. Hopping from food to the party powder to the green to hopping from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. You'll stay on something until you have such a high tolerance that you can't feel it anymore. Hop over to something else, lather, rinse, repeat. Just be jumping from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Just this really ridiculous system of chasing the high, all the while hurting yourself. But I've known for a while that food has just not been giving you the same vibes. And you knew it too, but you put yourself on that hamster wheel of, this is how I make money. This is how I'm getting attention. This is how I'm getting views. And you never stop to consider, maybe I should do something else. This isn't feeling good anymore. Maybe I should stop. You never really, truly considered stopping. You've always considered ways of, how can I exploit this? What angles can I take? What tags can I put on the videos to get more people to back this up? Always about the exploitation.
Best when I was filming way back. Do you guys remember the first time I went on my weight loss journey? And that first walk I went for, and I was enjoying the air. So I found a nice area. I can go for a walk. See.
You know, when you look at this piece of footage, it's sad. It's really sad when you look at how she was just 4 or 5 years ago. She's out in public. She's not afraid or ashamed to be in public. Her breathing was much easier. Her movement was much easier. When you look at this compared to how she is now in public, you're like, wow. This is where obsession and addiction can lead you, to take you from one sphere of life and is something completely different. She's walking out in public here in the fresh air. She's not afraid to do it. And her obsession with views and likes and clicks and money took this away from her. Her own obsessions and stupidity took this away from her. This is part of the price you pay, Foodie. When you've got things wrong with you and you leave them unchecked. You always pay for life. You pay for the things that you consume. You pay for the things that you do. Some of those payments are not money. Sometimes they're worse than money. They're valuable, priceless things that no money required, but they mean so much that you can't put a price tag on them. Certainly that's true of your mobility and your health. Can't put a price tag on either one of those.
Some kind of park. I'll show you guys. Yes. There's like a nice park over here. You know, some people think I should get off YouTube. Oh, there's a goose. Let's go pet it and focus on myself. But you know what? This helps me every day. It gives me a purpose to do it. I mean, I when I'm putting together a vlog, I know I put a work into, and I have a good message in there, and I feel good about myself, and I'm connecting with you guys, and I'm inspiring people. That's where I feel the best. When I'm doing, you know, editing, even when I'm editing my mukbang, I get bored. So if I'm bored with my own content.
Another self-confession. So she, the content creator, is saying, I get bored with my content. I'm the one doing it, and it bores me. It's boring to me. And yet she gets mad if other people point out this is boring, Foodie. But here you are saying it out of your own mouth that it's boring. You're telling your subscribers and your viewers that my content bores me. Then why not fix it? Why not fix yourself and it too?
How are other people thinking about it? You know, I think I'm just going to worry less about the pressure of worrying about getting a lot of views, about gaining traction, about all of that stuff. I'm just going to worry about doing my best to do videos that I feel good about and just leave the rest up to whatever. I mean, for people to watch or not to watch, whatever, you know. I definitely will not be going back to mukbangs. I don't feel right about.
I'm never going to go back to mukbangs. Well, you didn't keep your promise, did you? You didn't. Here we are years later. You're still doing them.
About it. I feel better when I'm just being real and open with you guys and sharing my struggles, sharing my life. And I think a lot of people just want me to be honest with myself, honest with you guys, and continue to work on getting to a happy, healthier place. A lot of you've been watching me for about 3 years, and that's a long time that I've been with you guys. So I understand if a lot of you do come from a place of concern. And, you know, I'm very sorry if I've been very, you know, deafblind to it all. I just really, when I have my mind set on something, I just kind of want to tune out any opposing opinion. And that is something I really want to work on. So I'm going to try my hardest to allow opinions of all forms in my comment section.
Okay, so she did that video, right? She's saying, I'm going to take a healthier approach. I want to take care of myself. And then the next day, 24 hours later, we have this.
Just want to follow up on some things that I said in my last video.
And watching this clip, I got an air of her being on the defensive and worried that by her making that video, she was afraid of the people that came to her channel looking for her to eat fast food, that they would look at that and go, oh, so you're not going to eat fast food anymore later. So she did this as a follow-up to pacify those people.
I don't take back my sentiments.
So that video, she said that when she does mukbangs, she gets very uncomfortable. She feels very sick. Her heart starts racing. She doesn't feel good. I mean, she gave enough reason of why she shouldn't do mukbangs. Like, physically speaking, it's not good for her. It doesn't make her feel good. Like, so why do it? Now she's going to get in this clip and say, well, I'm not going to completely stop. I'm sorry. If I did something content-wise that is physically hurting me, it's causing a negative reaction, I would not continue. I don't care how much money is involved, but we are talking about Chantal. She's very money-oriented, very greedy. All about, like, what are people watching and how can I get them to watch me? And not interested in positive means to do so, interested in what's cheap and easy and effortless. Well, there's a price to pay for that. And as we can see, she's paying it.
Of my last video, but I've come to some realizations that regarding the changes to the content of my channel. So just want to clarify, and I've come to some new decisions regarding that, at least for now. Yeah, I think it just makes me really nervous to just all of a sudden be so drastic with the change in my content and my channel. But at the same time, I know you're thinking she's going to go back to mukbangs. No, what I'm proposing to do for myself and my channel is kind of hit a middle, I guess, of make some change, like still make the primary focus on my health and my well-being, especially at a time like this.
What she's saying makes no sense. So she confesses she's got a problem with food. She said that mukbangs are a slippery slope, which, again, that's just nonsense. There's no slope about it. If you had a problem with food and you're including food in your content, you can't even take one step up that hill to fight it. You're giving into it. You're exploiting it. You're setting yourself up for failure. But she's saying, I'm going to continue to do this kind of content that it makes me physically ill. I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to include it in on my channel. You know, putting the views and the money over the health.
Where health is wealth in all sense of the way.
Right. You're exactly right about that, Chantal. Health is wealth. But apparently you don't value that kind of wealth because you're willing to sell it. Sell every piece of it until you become completely sick. You don't value that wealth. You're giving it away for a monthly paycheck. If you valued that wealth, you would protect it. But instead, you're endangering it. And worse, you're not even doing this in private. You're doing it in view of the public. You got your priorities all kinds of backwards.
But I also think that since we're self-isolating, and it might even get worse where we're going to be forced to isolate, and it could happen because there's still a lot of people roaming around, including I'm guilty of that. You know, I went out and saw my mom and everything when we do need to get things like groceries and stuff like that. But other than that, maybe we should be inside.
Oh, here we go. Foodie dated Natter. And when that ended, she had multiple hotel hookups with random men during the, you can see. You know, personal opinion, I seriously doubt half the things she told us because she likes to lie. When Foodie lies, it's on a grand scale. She can't just have one man talking to her. She's got to have several talking to her all at the same time, whether it's on a app, whether it's in real life. She's always tried to paint this picture of she's so desirable that she's got several men after her. equating value and appeal to the number of men that you surround yourself with rather than who you are as a person and what you're bringing to the table. And here's a question for you, Foodie. If you were such the femme fatale at that time, if you were so incredibly desirable and appealing, why were you being the pursuer rather than being pursued? Why weren't these men paying for things for you, like paying for the hotel rooms, coming to see you, taking you out to dinner? You were the one who was always the aggressor, running after people. So if you were so desirable, you being such the aggressor, it didn't make sense. You were the one running after people. I just want to give my thoughts on that.
And because of that, there's not really much to do in the way of content. You know, it's not like I can go out and enjoy the downtown area. Everything is closed and there's no one on the streets. You know, I could go for a 15-minute walk or whatever. It's not like I can go on hikes. I'm not at that level physically.
You know, the vid, the whole thing with the vid, it's still hurting the world even today. It's still affecting the world even today. But if there was ever a time that Foodie could have changed her content and gotten her mind together and really thought about things and explored different areas of making money, that would have been it. That would have been the perfect time, because a lot of people were in their homes. Like, what can I do content wise, like beyond the food? What can I do at home to entertain people on live and in videos? What can I do? Let's explore some stuff here. Let's get it going. She didn't do it. Perfect opportunity to change things. Didn't do it, Foodie.
Especially with what's going on with my lungs right now. Maybe this is for comfort reasons, but I think maybe other people will find comfort in it too if I just kept my content the same for now, but different in the way that it won't be.
No. I'm not going to let you get away with that. You're trying to spin this angle of I'm keeping my content the same to give comfort to other people, like it aids in their comfort. No. That was your comfort you were talking about, because you've always been scared of change. You don't like change. Change can be scary for a lot of people, but you're especially afraid of it because then when you change something, then there's the what's next? Where do I go from here? And you don't have an answer. It frightens you to think about what's next. What else can I do? You're not willing to explore what's next.
Mukbangs. I'm not going to label them mukbangs. I'm not going to go out of my way to eat 2 burgers or do fast food. I'm going to be cooking my meals, and even if they're just simple meals like chicken and mashed potatoes, I'll just have a dinner with me and we'll talk different subjects. Sometimes I'll do videos without food for those who enjoy that. I'm not going to make it obnoxious eating or anything so that people who don't even like really watching people eat will enjoy it. Just be like having dinner with a friend. When you're out with dinner with somebody, you watch them you're watching them eat or whatever. So
Chantal, I'm going to be rude for a minute. Listen, the mukbang trend started in Korea. And somebody came up with the idea of coming on camera and eating a simple meal and talking to those in a chat room. It was created and it was started to help other people who might be all alone, who might be eating a meal alone, to aid in their comfort, to where they can have a meal. And if they don't have a companion to eat with, they can kind of get the sensation of that. You've never put out that vibe in your mukbangs. It's not about you just sitting down to a simple meal and talking to the camera like somebody's there and you're just having like small intimate conversation. It's always been about you being too much, being gross, being disgusting, farting, burping, perhaps even showing parts of your body that really you shouldn't have shown on YouTube. That's not something you would do in a real life situation. No. And you did all of that to cater to that subset of people that have always been the most important to you. So nothing you've done has ever really been a real mukbang. You just try to take the mukbang idea and twist it to your advantage. It's never been eat with me. It's always been watch me eat. Whole different category.
Dinner with me and we'll talk about things that are going on. It can help relieve anxiety and maybe able to help relieve stress. That's my hope. And you know, whenever I'm able to do so and do more, I still will do some videos without food, like makeup videos, or like I said, maybe just sit down and talk videos once in a while. But I do like the idea of just not labeling my videos mukbangs, but like have dinner with me, and I can set my camera up there, and we can cook together, we can have a meal together, and it will just be like a daily evening way of dealing with everything, because so many people are shut in inside. And you know, I may have jumped the gun a bit yesterday in my video changes, and I do that a lot, and I bring that on myself. I take full responsibility for the reception of how I kind of change my mind a lot about my content.
So I don't know exactly what happened during this time. Did all the Foodie people get upset, throw up their hands and protest? What, Chantal? You're not going to eat fast food anymore? How dare you? Riots in the streets. Did you get emails? Did you get comments from people who are mad and now you're walking it back because of them? You know what you should have done when they did all that? You should have fired back at them and said, listen, I just did a video outlining why I shouldn't be doing this content. The content is literally making me sick. I'm eating this food. I'm becoming unwell. I feel nauseous. I feel dizzy. My heart starts racing. Did you guys not hear that part? And you have the nerve to get mad at me? Go screw off. If it matters that much to you, you go eat the doggone food. You make yourself sick. I'm not making myself sick for you. But no, you didn't do that. Should have done that, but you didn't do that.
My sentiments are the same. I am sick of, you know, focusing on making the food as delicious, as large, competing with mukbangers. You know, that's not going to be my goal. I'm going to be cooking wholesome meals, and it's going to be a different vibe than the mukbangs I used to do. And I know I've said that before too, but I think it's just the best thing right now. So I guess I'll see you guys. I'm just going to sometimes just vlog my day, but like I said, we're kind of shut in. So, you know, having a meal together, a wholesome meal, that's my condition. And I'm serious about that.
Yeah, okay. We know you hate to cook.
6 days later.
Oh.
I have 6 chicken nuggets.
Oh, there we go. Done. We're going to do some healthy meals. You know, I'll be fair. Let me look on this table. I'm looking for something healthy. I'm looking. We got a burger, we got fries, we got soda. Everything on that table is processed. I don't see anything healthy there. So if there is something healthy, can y'all let me know? Because I don't see nothing.
Oreo McFlurry.
Oh, really? So we've got the sugary drink, and we've got dessert. Okay, Chantal.
Fruitopia, which strawberry Fruitopia, sauces, Big Mac sauce, everything. So
You
sneeze. You sneeze and Sam bees.
and thank you for including this. What's happening? So look, does any of this look healthy? And look, she's got one of her trigger foods right here. Pizza's her trigger food. What else we got? Like more mukbangs. Not even trying to do different content. More of the same. More fast food from Wendy's and Popeyes. McDonald's. Like she was hitting all the fast food joints. Look. Little Caesars. Does Foodie admit to having a bleak existence? I don't know. Does she? Let's see.
I thought I was quitting shisha many times. I tried many times, but man, It's such a bleak existence. Hi, golden girl. Scapegoat Kane's.
So smoking the shisha is the difference between a bleak existence and a non-bleak existence? What do you say to that? Like, if I don't have my shisha, it's the day is sunny, everything's good, and if I don't, it's bad. Oof.
Mama, hi, Beezers.
Hypocrisy.
Okay, that you know what's happening. Thank you for putting out that video. That was a really great, well done video from Chantal. And for those who are wondering where to find what's happening, I'll leave a link for the video in the description. Check out their channel, give them a like, give them a sub, leave something in the comments if you'd like. And I'm going to go and look at all the rest of stuff that Chantal has done and see what else I can cover today, because I've got a lot to catch up on, but I'm just going to try to put things together to make it easier. So thank you guys for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please have a wonderful day.